How's it going, everyone? Welcome and thank you for stopping into the channel. Today I have hopefully a quick disassembly to do for you guys. This will be concerning the Sharp by Design Mini Evo number one, because I noticed there wasn't a lot of disassembly videos on this knife. Maybe because it's a very simple design, or there's just nobody that's done one yet, but I figured that I would do one. And secondly, I feel as though the detent nub is a little lighter than it should be. So I'm hoping that I can kind of strengthen it up by moving that lock bar and getting it cleaned up. If not, it will have to be going back to Brian Nadeau, so that way I can either A, get a new knife, or B, get this one fixed. But we shall see. This is, I've looked this over, and it's a very simple design. There's only your pivot screw, and then you have one body slash clip screw. So it's a very simple design to take apart and mess with if you are interested in doing something like that. This is one that you don't really have to be so much afraid to take apart if you're not used to taking knives apart. Close your eyes if stuff like this makes you nauseous. It's kind of tight around the pivot there. There we go. So I kind of questioned also how the bearings were supposed to face. The old videos I've seen of the Evo, they face towards the blade. When I first got this, I did take it apart just to see what it looked like. And mine were facing the opposite way, towards the scales. So I kind of wondered if they were in wrong. So I flipped them around, and it seemed like the action got slightly better, but not really, not much. It didn't change a whole lot. You do have your stop pin there. You have that's your lanyard post, and then you have a post there that slides into here, and you have your bearings, and that's about it. It's a very simple design, and then you have your pivot, and that's it. It's very simple. So that's something that you can appreciate. I'm going to clean everything up. I'm actually not going to oil this thing at all right now. Just giving you guys a heads up. I'm not going to oil it. I'm going to try to keep everything dry. Just so I can see how this detent acts. From what I've seen, the detent looks fine. The nub looks fine. So, but I don't know a whole lot about the nub or any of that stuff. I checked to see if the screw that holds that all together was tight. It's tight. So I'm going to put a little bit of pressure on this guy, and I'm hoping that I would rather lose my reverse flick and have a nice stout flipper than have a light flipper and be able to reverse flick it. That's just me personally. I've heard across the board that most people cannot reverse flick theirs. So I'm thinking, that leads me to believe that this detent is lighter than it should be. Now, I'm not going to mess with this a whole bunch because I do not want to void my warranty. I'm just going to put a little bit of pressure on here. Not much, and I'm gonna hope that that kind of solves the issue. I'm just kind of flexing it inward. I'm not really doing a whole lot here. So we'll see what happens if this doesn't work and I'm not satisfied, because I know it should have a stouter detent than it does. Having the mini Tempest in, I know kind of what they should feel like, and just judging off of everyone else that I've seen and heard from, theirs are also, you know, pretty stout, pretty good. So I'm hoping this kind of changes things. If it doesn't, like I said, it's gonna have to, you know, I can't accept that this is that light. It's not bad to the point where it's intolerable, but knowing how it should be, I just can't. Now that I've experienced it, and I just can't quit failing it on purpose at this point. And it doesn't happen every time, but when it does, you can really feel. Now I can only show you so much, but I can show you that. Now I'm hoping I can't show you after this, but if you watch the unboxing, you can kind of see me confused in a sense, because it shouldn't be the way it was when I unboxed it. So we'll see. I know about. So we are centered up there. I mean, it's easy to take apart, easy to put back together. That's something, you know, you can appreciate. See, I don't get it. It's really troublesome getting this knife, knowing it's a flipper knife, and, you know, wanting a good flipper knife, and then it's doing, you know, it's doing what it's doing. See, I can really, it's so easy. It's still doing the same thing. See, once you, even if I just, that's how it should open every time. Even if I lollygag it, it should be flipping itself out all the way. And then when you give it the gas, it should really be thwacking out. And it does if I really pay attention and push on it. But the minute you come down, like sideways or whatever, it's not how it should be, I don't think. And something's wrong in there. I don't know what it is. I could try flipping the bearings back around, but something is off with this one. Even when the bearings were facing outward, it was still doing that. So upon the unboxing, after it being lighter, I took it apart just to see what it looked like, make sure there wasn't no gunk in there, so on and so forth. The bearings were facing towards the scales, so I moved them back in, hoping that was the issue, and it was not. So, and I put some oil on it initially, and I thought maybe that was the issue. So it's none of those things, because now it's completely dry. I've dried it completely out for the most part. There's literally no oil in here. We could take it back apart, and I could switch the bearings around just so that way you guys can see. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it real quick. I'm trying to keep this a little shorter, but let's flip them back around and see what happens. But I guess I will have to get... See, I hate... Now I have to send this knife back, not have the knife, and either wait to get this one back after it's fixed, or wait to get a new one. And it's, you know, I almost feel like send me a new knife and I'll send this one back type of a deal. But you know how that goes. I love the knife. I love the aesthetic of it. I love the flipper tab. I love the blade. I love this knife, and it's very disappointing, to say the least, because I can see its potential, and I see how much everyone else really likes this knife. So it's really disheartening for me. Let's flip them back around and see what happens. I'm going to dry them out again. So we will put them towards the scales this time. Let's see what happens. I don't think it's going to change anything. I think there's just something wrong. And I don't know. I could put a little bit more on the lock bar. It's very disappointing, guys. And usually I don't experience disappointment with re-op made knives and higher quality Chinese knives. Initially, when I should have done the cleaning on video, the very first one, because there was some glue in the pivot and it just looked kind of sloppy in there, and the bearings were facing towards the scales, and I just thought maybe they're, you know, between the glue and the bearings and whatnot, I just thought maybe, oh, that's the issue. Got it back together, cleaned it all up, got it back together, and the issue was still there. So centered up. Still doing it. I do not get it, guys. That is the craziest thing. It breaks my heart to get this knife like this. Because I've seen all the videos, I've seen all the pictures and short videos of everybody, and they're all happy, and detents are good to go. People are telling me they cannot fail it even when they try. And I mean, mine, it's just, I think I got a goof. As soon as you push down on that flipper tab, it should be flying out. But, there's your disassembly, guys. I will keep you guys posted on what happens with Sharp by Design, and we will go from there. That'll do it, guys. I love you for hanging out. If you're still here and you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button down below. Give the video a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Love y'all, and I will catch you on the next one.